Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is your boy Kyle Graves coming to you live. Please like and subscribe. We are in a strange political and sporting climate right now in America, and why athletes should stay out of politics. And there are millions of Americans right now celebrating Team USA losing, and it's very odd. And but it is the political climate that we're in, and we're going to take a deep dive into this today. Okay, healthy stream, just checking that out, make sure I'm streaming properly. But so Megan Rapinoe, this lady right here, she's taken a lot of heat from Team USA and just around uh, the country from a lot of conservatives. Um, Apparently, she is a lesbian. She is married to a WNBA player, Sue Bird. And so she's taken some heat from conservatives across America for that. And plus, that she's, dyeing her hair, that she obviously stands out from all of these other women. Um, and so she's become kind of the face of this woman's soccer team, and she's taken a lot of heat because she missed a penalty kick to that cost Team USA the game against Sweden the other day. And so not only did she miss the kick that cost USA the game and USA lost that way, but also she's been the face of the team politically, and her stance, far left leaning, liberal Democrat. Um, and she's taken a lot of heat from it. And I've never seen people celebrate Team USA losing. you know, Team USA should be above politics, and it's not right now. Excuse me. Athletics should rise above the political climate, but it's not. And it's one of the reasons why that a lot of professional athletes, including Michael Jordan, the greatest athlete of all time, and I'm all about Team USA. Let me tell you, Michael Jordan, Team USA, this is what I'm about right here. All right. It's a frame poster, Be Like Mike, 1992 Dream Team. Okay? I've had this my entire life. But it's one of the reasons why Michael Jordan stayed out of politics. The great Michael Jordan, the greatest athlete, definitely the greatest basketball player. Might not have been the greatest athlete, but definitely the greatest basketball player. I think LeBron James is a better athlete. Anyway, we're not going to get into that debate right now, but Michael Jordan stayed out of politics. And what was his reason for that? Republicans were buying Jordans too. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but that's what he did and it worked for him in a business sense, because he didn't get the backlash that Megan Rapinoe is getting. And, she's not on Michael Jordan's level, but in a way that she is, because she's the star on Team USA. And we're going to get into it here. So, and another thing that, Trump running for president, going through his third indictment hearing, I don't know if he's going to go to jail or not, but he's talking about it. So let's see here what Trump had to say. So Trump blames wokeness for U.S. women's soccer team loss. Trolls Megan Rapinoe. USA is going to hell. So fair use on this. Donald Trump directed an unhinged tirade the shocking and totally unexpected loss by the U.S. women's soccer team to Sweden is fully emblematic of what is happening to our once great nation under crooked Joe Biden. Wow, that's a stretch. That's a stretch, Donnie. Many of our players were openly hostile to America. No other country behaved in such a manner, or even close. Woke equals failure. Nice shot, Megan. The USA is going to hell. Oh, man. I mean, Don's funny, but this is not how Americans should not be celebrating USA losing in anything. And I get the concerns from a lot of conservatives out there. You know, that the star on Team USA is a lesbian, and she's for transgender athletes flip-flopping, playing in other sports, which personally I am against that. I don't believe men should be allowed to compete in women's anything. And to piggyback off that, to all the women out there who think that they could actually compete against men, you can't. And I understand that women want to be seen as equals, and you are mentally. In a lot of ways, women might be superior mentally than to men. But athletically, physically, it's not even close. You know, Michelle Wie, what happened to her? You know, and let's just keep it with soccer here, okay? Let's just keep it on the topic of soccer. That a 15-year-old high school team beat Team USA women's, fully grown adult women, 15-year-old 9th and 10th graders, a boys' high school team beat Team USA. Let's look. You don't believe me? Let's look at the article right here. FC Dallas under 15 boys squad beat the U.S. women's national team in a scrimmage. The match was in preparation for Thursday's friendly bout against Russia, and this was in 2017. So in preparation for two upcoming friendlies against Russia, the U.S. women's national team played FC Dallas U15 Boys Academy and fell 5-2. I mean, this is really all the proof you're ever going to need. If any time, you know, it's just women can't compete athletically, and this just goes all across the board. That a 15-year-old boys basketball team could beat the WNBA champions. You know, it's not right or wrong. It's just the way that it is. And there's Megan Rapinoe right there. There's Megan. She's pointing to this guy that she just got whooped. Yeah, he's better than me, but that's neither here nor there, and that's not what I'm really trying to get into as far as trans rights. But there's a reason why there's a difference between men's sports and women's sports in the Olympics and professional sports, high school, college, etc. If there was just sports and women could try out for any sport, they wouldn't be playing because they wouldn't have made the team. But regardless of how you feel about tranny rights, no one should be rooting against America. No one should be rooting for America to lose at anything. No American should be rooting for America to lose. And I don't care what your political philosophy is, that we're in a weird, strange time right now, political climate. Here's another article by Piers Morgan. Shout out to Piers. Don't cry for Megan Rapinoe and humiliated USA women's soccer. They're a bunch of unpatriotic losers. Wow. Okay. All right. He's siding with Trump with this for sure. As the tears streamed down Megan Rapinoe's face after USA women's humiliating early exit from the Women's World Cup, she was asked if there was one memory that stood out from her entire career as international footballers. Was it a particular trophy, perhaps, or an especially memorable match, or an outstanding goal, or as many others might have said, the sheer honor and pride of playing for her country? Nope, none of these. Miss Rapinoe, who had earlier sparked outrage when she laughed after missing a crucial penalty kick, collected her thoughts for a few seconds, then replied, "Probably equal pay chance. This team has always fought so much for more, and that's been the most rewarding part for me. Of course, playing in World Cups and European Championships and doing all of that, but to know we've used our special talent to do something that's really changed the world forever, that means the most for me." It was peak Rapinoe, supremely arrogant, annoyingly self-aggrandizing, and all about the money. Later, President Biden tweeted, "USA Women's Soccer, you've made the country proud. Congratulations on an incredible run. This team is something special, and I'm looking forward to seeing how you continue to inspire Americans with your grit and determination on and off the field." Pierce is not liking that. Sorry? What? Not for the first time. I was completely bemused by Biden's words, which, like most of his public utterances these days, bore no relation to reality. This team isn't something special. In fact, in terms of performance, it's the worst women's soccer team in history. For the first time in all women's World Cups since the competition began in 1991, it crashed out in the last 16 knockout stage, and that was after it had become the first United States women's team to earn fewer than 6 points in the group stage. So Biden's right that this team is something special, but only because it's uniquely bad. As for supposedly inspiring Americans with their grit and determination, I very much doubt a single American felt inspired to open a bag of chips after watching the United States women's train wreck World Cup campaign. Frankly, I've seen grittier and more determined displays from the Kardashians on a red carpet trying to steal paparazzi attention from each other. Let's not bring them into it. Golly, they're the worst. But he's trying to compare that the United States women are the worst. So I guess maybe that is oh man, I'm agreeing with Pierce. But all right, Pierce, I hear you. But it was Biden's assertion that Team USA made your country proud. That really stuck in my gullet. Has there ever been a more disingenuous statement from this president other than his now demonstrably untrue insistence he never helped his son Hunter with his corrupt business dealings? Ouch. It's hard to imagine an American sporting team that's made the country feel less proud than this bunch of activist prima donnas. Okay, so here's where I'm hitting on earlier, where I touched base on, is that, you know, Megan Rapinoe has made it her agenda, her to stay in the public, and not just the public limelight, but in the political spectrum. She has been very outspoken, and you know, and that's her right. You know, and if she feels, whether you're a conservative or liberal, you know, Democrat, Republican, if you feel like something in your heart to talk about, then you should. I mean, this is America. But for whatever, you know, people are always going to disagree with you. Some people are going to disagree, and no matter what it is. And this is the backlash that she's getting. You know, I've never seen a political backlash on an athlete ever in my life. And this is something that athletes should think about. And will this scare athletes, professional athletes? Will this scare professional athletes moving forward to speak their mind about issues? I don't know. But it's where we are right now. Putting aside how poorly they played, the refusal by most of them to sing the national anthem throughout the tournament or place their hands over their hearts was an absolute disgrace. Each game as the Star-Spangled Banner was played, they stood there like stuffed dummies at Madame Tussauds, only revealing they were humans when their pinched faces creased with undisguised dismay at having to show they give a damn about representing America on a world stage. All right, Pierce. So, you know, I disagree with Pierce on this. I think these women love America and they want to see what's best. At the same time, what they feel is best for America. Now, they're getting a backlash from conservatives across America who are cheering that, I guess, primarily this liberal Democratic USA team lost. So, I mean, politics there's such a divide in America right now that even if professional athletes talk about their political stance, that half of America is going to root for USA to lose. I don't think that's right, but it's where we are right now. Rapinoe's the ringleader for all the unpatriotic garbage, says Pierce. She boasted in 2019 that she would probably never sing the anthem again, and her self-described status as a walking protest has made her very famous and very rich, and earned her huge honors like the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which she received from Biden last year. Wow. But the act doesn't play when you lose as badly as this team just did. Who wants to follow warriors who are so pathetically spineless in battle? And at the heart of Rapinoe's campaigning lies a blatant conceit. She professes to be all about equality. That's her driving force, she says, to fight for equal rights for everyone. But is it? Several weeks ago, she launched a furious attack on moves to ban transgender women from competing in women's sports. We, as a country, are trying to legislate away people's full humanity, she told Time magazine. It's particularly frustrating when women's sports is weaponized. Oh, now we care about fairness. Now we care about women's sports. That's total BS. And show me all the trans people who are nefariously taking advantage of being in trans sports. It's just not happening. Piers Morgan thinks this is a lie. It's happening in women's sports all over the world as biological males shamelessly and shamefully use their physical advantage to beat biological females. Rapinoe's not stupid, she knows this. But she can't bring herself to admit it because it would destroy her hard-fought reputation as the world's #1 woke, virtue-signaling athlete. I really don't think that there's that many transgender men trying to compete in women's sports in high school, college. The only one that I can really think of is the swimmer. I think it was Princeton or Harvard, something in the Ivy League, very liberal college. But there's not very many transgender athletes trying to compete with women. So I agree with Megan Rapinoe on this. But, the ones that are, they're going to make the headlines because it's so shocking. Joanna Man. You know what? Joanna Man was ahead of its time. You remember that movie? It's from like the late 90s. This is the man that broke, I think he's a janitor or something like that. Or maybe that's Slam Dunk Ernest. But I'm getting Joanna Man and Slam Dunk Ernest confused, but basically it's a man who signs up to play on a women's basketball team and dominates, slam dunking it, and they're like, damn, the girl's got game. But, it's a man. We're putting this all through the lens of competition and winning. Rapinoe's here. In the same interview, Rapinoe said it's extremely transphobic to suggest a trans woman taking a real woman's place, and said she would welcome a transgender woman on Team USA. Yeah, I disagree with that as well. We're putting this all through the lens of competition and winning, she said, but we're talking about people's lives. That's where we have to start. No, it's not. Sport is about competition and winning. Otherwise, why keep score? And actually, we have to start with fairness. It's indisputably unfair that trans women compete in women's sports. I agree. As unfair as if they were taking performance-enhancing drugs. Again, Rapinoe knows this, but she pretends to think otherwise. And how convenient that she says she'd welcome a trans player on a Team USA at the precise moment she's retiring, so it won't be her place that gets unfairly taken. Wow, good point, Pierce. But hey, at least if they do replace the entire Team USA with trans women, they'll get back to winning World Cups again. Ouch. Well, it's one thing to disagree with a Team USA athlete political stance. It's another thing for millions of Americans to celebrate Team USA losing. It's mind-boggling. We have former President Trump Let's go back to this. President Trump rooting, celebrating Team USA losing. Donald Trump directed an unhinged tirade at the U.S. women's national soccer team, blaming its unexpected early exit from the World Cup on a culture of wokeness under crooked Joe Biden, while savagely trolling Megan Rapinoe over the loss. Now, I mean, at first it's funny, but then if you really think about it, it's not. The U.S. fell out of Women's World Cup Sunday after losing to Sweden 5-4 in a penalty shootout during a pivotal round 16 match, the team's earliest exit from the tournament. The shocking and totally unexpected loss by the U.S. women's soccer team to Sweden is fully emblematic of what is happening to our once great nation under crooked Joe Biden. Trump 77 gleefully wrote on Truth Social. Many of our players were openly hostile to America. No other country behaved in such a manner or even close, he continued. Woke equals failure. Ouch. And this is something that athletes presently, currently, and in the future are going to have to take into consideration, because we're in a time where everyone is a brand. We're in a unique time, and in society, a unique time in the world, because individual athletes and normies like me. I mean, look at this setup that I have. It's pretty fancy. People didn't have this fancy setup 40, 50 years ago that you can broadcast to the world. That you're your own brand. You can put your views, socially, politically, philosophically, what have you, out there. And then combining on that her platform with her athletic success, that it's there's a lot of responsibility to it. And the more successful you are, the more that you're going to be put on this pedestal, and people are going to want to see you fall. That it's a dual-edged sword, a double-edged sword, or like you're standing on the tip of the sword, and you could fall off very easily. And people are going to be looking for a reason to scrutinize you or want to see you fail. And this technology and this access to a social platform wasn't around. It didn't exist in the 1990s. I mean, it really didn't exist until the iPhone, where you had a supercomputer in your pocket that you could carry around with you. For better and for worse. I mean, you don't hear about all the stuff Babe Ruth did that got away with from all the people in the media. Babe Ruth was into some stuff, but you didn't hear about it. The media respected Babe Ruth to where he got away with everything. Same thing with Michael Jordan. The media loved and respected Michael Jordan. Good and bad. I mean, you look at what's the basketball player? He was on ESPN. Played for the Celtics. Paul Pierce. Great ESPN analyst, great basketball player, basketball genius. You know, he got his phone out and went live with him smoking with some strippers at a party, and they fired him for it. And it's just another reason of the power of going, not just talking about your political views or your socially, but viewpoints, but also having the power of videotaping, going live, and immediately putting it out there for the world to see. That there can be a backlash for it, and I think it's the best time ever for humanity right now overall. I mean, this is the best time to be a human being ever in the recorded history of mankind. I mean, especially as an American, we are, in a lot of ways, Americans are oblivious to the poverty around the world. As professional athletes become more outspoken, using their fame, their brand, because I mean, basically every athlete, every person right now is a brand, even normies like me. Kyle Graves Live, please like and subscribe. LeBron, you know, when LeBron started saying political things, started taking political stances, you got a backlash on him saying, you know, shut up and just dribble, LeBron. Just shut up and dribble. And for the most part, that's what he did. He didn't double down on everything like Megan Rapinoe did. You know, Megan Rapinoe stayed poking the bear, you know, on her political stances, her philosophy, her political ideology, what have you. She kept putting it out there. And to people who identify with her and her philosophy, she is a hero. But then now people love to see people who they don't agree with fail. And to the point where millions of Americans today are laughing and celebrating that USA lost. I mean, it's mind-boggling. You know, I don't know Michael Jordan's political, philosophical beliefs. You know, he was pretty private about all that. But I would never root against Team USA to lose, not in anything, man. Let me show you what I'm about again, just in case you forgot. Be like Mike. I've had this poster my entire life, 1992. And it's just where we are in America right now, that politically, athletically, people are so divided and one-sided that they're rooting for America to lose. And happy that we lost and that the star of the soccer team that they don't agree with politically, philosophically, lost. And that a political candidate, former President Donald Trump, is knows that, and the fact that he's tweeting that, and millions of people are celebrating along with Trump today that USA lost. It's very interesting. It's odd that this is where we are in America. And how is this going to be 30, 40 years from now? That as we've seen technology and communications progress to where anyone can basically be CNN now. I mean, look at this setup that I have. I mean, it's pretty basic, but yet, it kind of looks like CNN, MSNBC or whatever you want, Fox News. But yet I'm just a normie, on a laptop. Somebody super famous like Megan Rapinoe, LeBron James, etc. The platform of communications that they're always going to be respected to their diehard fans. But as you cross that line, that political athletic line, and that Michael Jordan did not do. And MJ got a lot of flack for it. Not as openly as maybe LeBron James or Megan Rapinoe have, but it was a different time then. No one could just post their thoughts out like we can today. So in a lot of ways, the athletes got away with a lot of stuff back then. But moving forward, they're not going to be able to. And for whatever reason, the political climate is so hostile today that people are never going to forget either. And it's interesting. See what Biden has to say. We'll go back to Trump. Biden offered comforting words to the crew in a tweet early Sunday afternoon in the U.S. "You've made your country proud," it read. "Congratulations on an incredible run. This team is something special, and I'm looking forward to seeing how you can continue to inspire Americans with your grit and determination on and off the field." So maybe this Megan Rapinoe is about to transition to politics. So this is not the end of America hearing from Megan Rapinoe, whether you like it or not. I think that that's interesting. I just now thought about that she might be interested in politics as a career post, athletics. Wouldn't that be something? What would turn out to be the Americans' final match in this year's World Cup saw 0 goals scored throughout the full 90 minutes. As the match went to penalties, Megan Rapinoe each missed kicks. Sophia Smith and Kelly O'Hara each missed kicks that could have secured the win. This is, at the end of the day, this isn't about America losing in the World Cup. This is about the hostile political climate that we're in. And I hope that it can get better. You know, some of my favorite people in this world are Republicans. You know, some of the people that I love and hold dear to my heart are Democrats and Republicans. That, you know, the former president can incite, that he has immediate access to power, political access. He can just make a tweet, do a response, do a video, and millions of his drones, his clones. It's like Star Trek, and this is on Democrat and Republican. It's like Jean-Luc Picard. You know, he got linked up to the Borgs. Like he became a drone. He became a cyborg. This is like a lot of Americans, human beings are. I mean, somebody that I deal with, it's just like they put it onto the internet, and all of a sudden you have millions of drones who are behaving and thinking, responding to just how this one person responds, the power of social media. That even if they really weren't thinking like this before, it's easy to jump onto the bandwagon in the social media era. And politics is now social media. I mean, anyone can go viral. Anyone can be their own brand. I mean, if you notice, YouTube, it's more popular than cable. You know, more people are watching YouTube right now than cable news. USA Captain Alex Morgan. I like Alex Morgan too. USA Captain Alex Morgan said she was just devastated. It feels like a bad dream, she said. The team put everything out there tonight. I feel like we dominated, but it doesn't matter. We're going home, and it's the highs and lows of the sport of soccer. So yeah, it doesn't feel great. You know, no one's talking about Miss Alex Morgan, the captain. She's the leader of the team. But Megan Rapinoe is the scapegoat because she's the leader of the team politically and possibly philosophically. She's the most famous. You know, regardless of your political philosophy, we shouldn't be rooting against America for Team USA to lose in anything. Athletically, you know, economically. But we always should be communicating, speaking our truths. You know, the more voices that we hear, the more unique viewpoints that we hear collectively, the more the better. So I am not against, you know, people speaking out against Megan Rapinoe or, you know, her political views. But for rooting for America to lose because a woman that you disagree with is on the team, man, that's tough. That's tough for me to agree with. But that's how it is. I mean, let me know what you think. Please leave a comment, like or subscribe, and you know, you could, Kyle Graves Live, or shoot me an email, kjg0623@gmail.com. If you have any article ideas or video blog segments you'd like me to speak on, I'm willing to take requests at this point. But thank you so much, YouTube. Like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe. God bless America. Let's go USA. We're still in it for the long haul. Regardless if you're a Republican or a Democrat. And overall, going back politically, I think everybody needs to take a deep breath that America's going to be okay. I think overall, America's in a good place. And at least people are communicating with each other more than ever before. If there's one good thing that can come from all this, that there is discourse right now, that more people are being heard than ever before, which is great. And whether we agree with each other, that's another thing. And to stay cordial and non-hostile and to try to hear where the other person's coming from. Not just hear, but understand each other. And we got to live with each other. And we can do it. And America's moving forward in the right direction collectively. It's not perfect, but I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. I love America. I love USA. And it's just a little shocking that millions of Americans today are cheering, celebrating that Team USA lost. Well, let me know what you think. Thank you very much, YouTube. Take it easy.